Counselor, there's a raccoon stuck in the vending machine.
That's so annoying. I wanted a snack.
Welcome to Trail Mix.
Our mini episodes from Camp Counselors podcast.
Each week, the stories come from you, our Camp Shady Birch campers.
We want to hear your juicy gossip,
Top secret confessions,
embarrassing and scary stories.
and sprinkle in our sage counselor advice.
Trail Mix is for the campers.
And God, do we love ya. Hey, happy campers! Welcome back to Camp Shady Birch.
This is Trail Mix, our mini episode, where we read listener-submitted stories brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you.
That sounded like the Chicken Man skit. Was that what you were trying to do?
Yeah.
Of course, you're the Chicken Man.
No, I was trying to do PBS like Arthur ass.
The Chicken Man guarantee.
That's the Chicken Man guarantee.
I want to watch the Kristen Wiig SNL. I didn't see it, and I'm not like in SNL right now. Like I'm not feeling the cast, but I did see this meme, and it was so true. It's like your favorite SNL cast is the cast that you grew up watching, which is why Kristen Wiig, like Fred Armisen, Bill Hader, like those are like my like people. But Kristen Wiig came back this week, and I saw the Jumanji sketch. Did you see that?
No,
one?
I didn't see any of it. I saw like a photo of her standing. A photo? Like what year is it? Like,
half of the sketch though, it's so funny. They're literally like debating if you go into Jumanji, or she's like, I'm not getting sucked into Jumanji. And then Bowen Yang, who I do love Bowen Yang's like, first of all, you don't get sucked into Jumanji. Jumanji comes out into the world, into you. And like that's the big part of the joke. And I'm like, who wrote this? This is so stupid.
that is funny, but I think it can go both ways.
What do you mean? Oh, because, they're like, then they say like, only Robin Williams is the only person to get sucked in. I haven't seen Jumanji in so long. And then someone in the comments made my favorite like Jumanji joke ever. They're like, don't even get me started about Zathura. Which is just outer space Jumanji.
Literally, in the jungle, you must wait until the dice read 5 or 8. 5 or 8? What does that mean? And then it gets sucked into the board. Poor Alan Parrish.
The joke goes on for so long in the SNL sketch that they end up referencing Bowen Yang's like, that's not Jumanji, that's Jumanji 2 with The Rock. Like it's just like it's so stupid. I never saw the second one. I don't want to.
I didn't see it either. It's a video game, I think, right? It's about a video game, not a board game.
Yeah. Did you ever see that? This is just making me, I'm spitballing here. Did you just see that they remade it was like, someone don't kill the babysitter. Babysitter's dead. What's that movie?
Don't tell mom babysitter's dead.
Yeah, they just remade it. It's coming out. So we're recording on a Friday, and it just came out in theaters.
In theaters.
And the only reason why I know about it is because it's Tyra Banks's first like Smize production. That's like her production studio. And you never know. Like, I feel like they'll always chop up any review to make it seem positive, but she was like putting big paragraphs from Variety and they were giving it really good reviews, saying that it was a modern, like retelling of a classic movie. And they even filmed in the original house.
Oh, now that is COOL cool.
And the entire cast is like, it's like a black family instead of like a white family. So it feels like, I don't know. I think they just like really breathed some new energy into it, but kept the same kind of like storyline of what happened.
I never saw the first one.
Either did I.
Oh my God. Should we watch the second one and then go back to the first one?
I think we should. I like a movie like that.
Yeah. Oh my God, let's do it. Let's make it a date.
What else? What are we watching tonight? Well, we're staying home because we have so much podcast work to do because we do have a lot of travel coming up at the beginning of May. We'll talk about that in another episode. But we have a lot of episodes to record ahead of time. Yeah. But tonight's is the finale of RuPaul's Drag Race.
I wonder who's going to win.
Because I don't know yet. I'm going to speak into existence who I want to win, and I want it to stay on record in case I'm correct.
Hopefully this ages well because this episode doesn't come out for like a full 2 weeks.
That's fine. Who cares? Okay. I want Plain Jane to win, but I know Saphira is going to win. I don't think Nymphia has it. I don't. You don't have to win a reality TV show to be liked. I like Nymphia. I don't think Nymphia should win because I don't think she's delivered enough of the full package of what you need to be America's Next Track Superstar. I think Saphira has the whole package.
As do I.
I think Plain Jane is a villain, and I'm ready for a villain to win. We don't celebrate villains enough in the world.
Oh, God.
Even when I mentioned Camilla last episode, people were pissed.
Who? Were people pissed?
Well, someone called her the Rottweiler on the YouTube comments. Oh, well, yeah. Well, she is the Rottweiler.
I said what I said. But they weren't my words.
I think a part of my message on this earth, my purpose, is to highlight villains.
You were probably a big fan of House of Mouse, the villain takeover. Did you ever see that?
No, what was that?
That was so weird. It was like on Disney Channel, like right before it went from Disney Junior to Disney Senior. It was like the middle school where they had like 2 episodes on, and it was just like Clarabelle was on it. No, it felt like a fever
How old were
dream.
you when you were watching this?
I think this was one of those things where I stayed home from school when I like pretending to be sick and I would watch it.
Yeah, we needed an entire case study on daytime television because it just gets freaky. They're like, oh, don't watch HBO at night. It's like, no, I don't think people are aware what's happening during the daytime because it also gets weird on there. It's like, okay, I don't know how Maury and Jerry Springer was even allowed to be on TV at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
They're like,
that
oh,
is so much energy.
they're like girls kissing like at 9 p.m. at HBO. I'm like, have you seen the two girls fist fighting at 1 p.m. in the afternoon? But that's allowed. Like, we're talking. You know what I'm talking about? Though?
Yeah, daytime TV. It's creepy and it's crazy.
Anyways, we're really getting off topic here. We have a fabulous show for you guys today. Some really incredible stories. I have a camper whose first date turns into quite the scandal. Like it actually is really quite a scandal.
Oh my God, wait. I have a terrible trailer park date night tornado.
Oh, so double date.
Yeah. Oh my God, double date. Let's call it a double date night.
And then I have a camper needing advice on how to set some friendship boundaries. I love a question like that.
And a cruise ship that left dad behind.
No, I didn't read that. Oh my God, you read that one. Wait, I'm excited. Let's get into it. This is a really big secret. Thank God we're on a body of water. This is Confession Canoe. Welcome back to Confession Canoe. So we just realized on the show that we both have double dates.
Yeah, and they're both confession canoes. Well, mine's kind of like a confession canoe / scary story, but I'm gonna put it in the canoe. Yeah.
I feel like the confession canoes really bleed into the scary stories because if you're confessing, it's probably embarrassing or spooky.
Yeah, they're bleeding. There's blood everywhere.
So since we have a double confession canoe, we had to get the bigger canoe out of the boat ramp, the boat storage container. Because think about it, there's the two double dates on this boat, plus Jonathan and I are driving the boat, and then Sandwich is on the boat, and he's in a full tux, maitre d' style, serving the double dates.
Like a gondola.
It's the canoe has been transformed. We should make that a feature for the campers as an add-on for their membership to Camp JD Birch. For an additional payment of $10 a month, you can rent out a gondola, which is truly just a canoe with Sandwich singing in the back of it.
Yeah, with a built-in table.
Oh, I love that.
Just for your things.
Every time I watch someone in a gondola, it's so embarrassing. We did the one in Las Vegas at the Venetian. And it was cute, but when they do them in Venice, like we were watching Real Housewives of New Jersey and Teresa's like, why isn't he singing? He should be singing to us. They sing in Vegas. It's
know, it's so embarrassing. It's like, please just tell Melania to sit down before she falls overboard.
Oh my God. Sorry. We're rewatching it for the first time ever. And if you don't care, you don't care. Melania is quite possibly one of the worst behaved children I've ever seen on television. She is a terror. And who am I to judge? I don't have kids, but unless you've seen those seasons, she is bad.
There's 4 kids and she's the standout.
Her cousin's like, Melania always chokes me and grabs me by the throat.
Melissa's like, what?
You know, and then the truth is like, you've heard of terrible twos, but Melania, she's just a terrible 4-year-old.
She's just terrible. Okay, let's get into the story.
Okay, I'll go first.
Because mine's really long.
Okay. Hey, camp counselors. First of all, I have to say that finding your podcast around 6 months ago and binging all the episodes I missed was the most I've laughed out loud walking my dog. I'm a Patreon girly now. Thank you.
Yay.
Anyway, I have been meaning to write in, but I didn't know what category to pick, so feel free to change it. So about 3 years ago, I was at a bar and met a guy I wasn't really into, but was nice and had the same sense of humor as me. Always really important when we meet people. I feel like a lot of you should always have the same sense of humor as people. I gave him my number, planning on never seeing him again. He asked me out on a few dates and I ignored him. My bad. But then he messaged me and he had tickets to the Comedy Cellar and it was Rachel Feinstein and Nikki Glazer. So I agreed to go. It's a stacked cast, so I also would go to that. We got a few drinks and apps before the show and he kept on bringing up his Italian sister. How his Italian sister loves this type of food. He's Asian, so I asked how his sister was Italian and then he said she was adopted.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's definitely possible, but it's like, if you're an Asian camper and you have an Italian sister, like, please step up and send photos. I'm obsessed. Okay, so we go to the show. It's chilly, and he gives me his jacket. I love the visual. I feel like I'm cold now. Then we head back. My phone dies, and I go home because I couldn't find him. I don't understand what she's saying there.
Wait, run that back?
Then when we head back, my phone dies, and I go home because I couldn't find him. I think at some point they got lost in the night and her phone died.
Oh, okay.
But it's the Comedy Cellar. It's not that big of a venue.
No, maybe they went out after.
I don't know.
Maybe she like deleted a part.
I don't know. That part did not make sense in the email, but I was like, well, the rest of it's so good that I have to read it. But we guys, fill in the blanks, okay? It's the Italian sister and the Asian man. I can't do it all for you. He then is in a panic calling me for his jacket. I tell him he could get it later in the week. I didn't want him in my apartment. I checked the pockets, and in the pocket was our receipt with his wedding ring wrapped inside. What?
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
That's why he's freaking out, because he left his wedding ring in his jacket.
I was like, why would he put a wedding ring in his jacket? But if he's going out on a date and he's married, he's taking it off and putting it in the jacket that he's wearing. I get it now.
Yeah.
See, we're putting the pieces together. We're growing and we're living, we're laughing, we're loving.
The pieces were all in front of you, and they were pretty much in alphabetical order, but you figured it out.
No, I like to have fun with it.
I then immediately, like a true detective, looked him up. He had a low-key podcast about trying to break into comedy with his Italian wife. See, that's why the Italian sister story was not lining up to me. It was just a little weird to me. And it wasn't. It was, he was talking about his wife the entire time. But also, like, just don't talk about her. If you're cheating on her, like, just don't bring her up. You don't have to recast her in the story. Like, just leave her out of it.
That's so weird.
I texted him, do you want your jacket or your ring back? He said, I can explain. I said, no explanation needed. Please don't waste another minute of my time. I told him to look for his jacket at the subway station. If he couldn't find it, good luck explaining to his wife where his ring is. Not sure if that was harsh, but I really don't care. I think I'll still go to heaven since I'm in cabin 7.
Yes, absolutely.
What a dirtbag. Also, like, it's important to mention that he was, like, he obviously was cheating on his wife. Terrible. But he was continuously, like, trying to go on a date with her, and she only said yes after multiple like declines because of the tickets he had to the show.
And that's so weird. Like, if you have a podcast with your wife and you are trying to get into comedy, maybe this wasn't the first time he saw them, but if you go to that show, I would like want to tell my wife, but I can't because I was on a date with another girl. So weird.
Yeah. And then the next time they go to see Nikki Glaser, he's like, I've never seen her before, wink wink. But yeah, I don't know what happened. Definitely there's no way he found that jacket at a subway station. And whoever did find, honestly, if I was her, I wouldn't have put the ring in the jacket because you would have known it would have been stolen anyways. I would have pawned the ring.
Smart.
Because it's like, you know what?
Well, if it's a men's ring, it's not going to be that much.
Who cares? Even if it's $200, that's a nice night out on the town.
True.
Drinks, dinner, margaritas. What a dirtbag.
The only thing that this is truly missing besides that little portion in the middle is a link to the podcast. Camper, if you're listening, please send it to us because I'm curious. What we're not going to do is hunt them down and it's not going to become a witch hunt, Camper.
Well, if it's an Asian man and an Italian woman and they're married breaking into comedy, it's kind of
Does
all
she know,
spelled out.
I wonder?
Whatever. I can't be protecting everybody right now.
We can't do it.
So the first date went bad.
Well, we've got another bad first date.
Oh, no, yours is bad too?
Yeah, campers, settle in because it's going to get uncomfortable. So here we go. Compassion Canoe. Good morning, counselors. First of all, I absolutely love the podcast. The days that you post align with my only 2 days off work, so I love putting it on while I'm making breakfast and getting into the day. Now I kind of associate your voices with bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches.
We are the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches of the podcast world, and I will never be told anything different now.
Period, puta. I don't know. Anyway, I was sorry.
Period, puta. Period, bitch, but in Spanish. Wait, you're being freaky.
Anyway, I have a story for you. A little context if you care to listen. It was the early summer of 2020. It was full-blown pandemic realness, and my city was under strict lockdown. It was that strange time when restaurants were takeout only, park benches were caution taped off, and grocery stores had footprint stickers on the floor to enforce social distancing. Some of them still do.
Yeah.
But like have the crazy nasty residue. I'm like, someone get a floor stripper in here. Get that taken care of. Anyway, I had been off work and in quarantine for a few months at this point. Bored and restless, I went on the dating apps. It wasn't too long before I matched with this guy who was a freelance videographer. He had a long beard and seemed to be kind of an off-the-grid, earthy hippie type.
Crunchy?
Yeah, essentially. All his pictures were of him gardening, making things out of wood, playing guitar, etc.
That's nice.
We talked for a couple of weeks, and I was intrigued. Okay, so since going on a traditional first date wasn't an option, he invited me over to his house. Normally, I would never do this, but like I said, it was weird times, and to be honest, I wanted the D. I got myself together the best I could with the limited resources I had available. I hadn't been to the hair or nail salon in months, so I went to the drugstore and got a set of press-on nails, a wax kit, and some box dye for my roots. Girl, I was ready. It's like she herself was, living off the grid.
You had to do everything yourself back then. There was no salon.
Yeah.
She's like, actually, I never went to the salon. All I did was ever use the box dye. I've never box dyed my hair.
I did a couple of times. I box dyed it back in high school. I would box dye it that red color that Ariana Grande had.
No, I know. Because one thing about you, Jonathan, you really give box dye energy.
I do. And it kind of like looked good. I went for like a chocolate cherry moment.
A cordial? Your favorite candy?
Yeah, I went for a nice center of a cherry cordial.
I want to see a picture.
There's definitely pictures.
I think I've seen a picture.
His place was a 25-minute drive, but it was gorgeous and sunny. And I had a new summer playlist and I was happy to get the hell out of the house. You have a question? Hand up.
Also, I just want to acknowledge, does anyone remember, at least in like New England, like that first COVID spring when none of us were working, if you like weren't working like I was, it was really great weather that spring.
It was.
It was like a magically like really nice, warm, I wouldn't say balmy, but it was sunny all the time.
I went to the park to play kickball with a group of my friends that we all lived in the neighborhood. And there was like 3 people who lived in my house. It was me, my brother, my cousin, and then our 4 neighbors who lived up the street. So it's like we lived in 2 separate vicinities, but we were walking and a cop stopped us and like was yelling at us for playing kickball. He's like, you guys can't be together. We're like, first off, we're playing kickball.
Also, it was like, listen, looking back on it now, it's like, what does it matter? Okay.
Kick rocks. Anyway, as I was driving, I noticed the sky had clouded over. It got very dark and started raining, then hailing.
Oh.
A few cars had pulled over on the side of the road and it was becoming extremely hard to see.
The opposite of what I was just talking about.
It was going so well for a minute. Then I saw people standing outside their cars holding up their phones and filming. What the fuck is going on? Oh, look at that. A literal tornado. To be honest, I probably should have been more concerned than I was, but it looks like it was going in the opposite direction than I was. So I just kept driving. Like, what was I going to do? Turn around and drive towards it? I gave myself an at-home Brazilian wax for this date. I'm going.
Period, puta.
In retrospect, the tornado might have been the universe trying to warn me because everything from this point forward was absurd.
Oh, no.
As I pull up to the address, I saw a big sign, but I couldn't see what it said because it was still pouring heavily. I texted him, I'm here. His reply was, okay, it's lot number 7. I was in a trailer park. Now, there's nothing wrong with a trailer park, obviously, but it was not exactly an ideal place to be when tornadoes are flying around.
Truly.
He hadn't mentioned that he lived in a trailer, but I was keeping an open mind and assuming he was like a cool anti-capitalist mortgage-free vegan or something.
Yeah, and also some trailers are like very nice
Yeah.
for the record.
So there I was at lot number 7. He came out to my car with an umbrella to walk me inside. What a gentleman. But as we're walking towards his place, the wind got a hold of his umbrella and flipped it inside out. He was struggling to hold on to it and fighting for his life while I got soaked. You would think in this scenario, it would have been kind of funny, a crazy little icebreaker, but he was actually pissed that he was trying to be nice and in return, his umbrella gets broken. It was weird, but okay.
Yeah, it's like, okay, now the whole thing is awkward.
When we got inside, I realized I wasn't just wet from the rain. I had brought a big thermos with a mixed vodka drink in it. It had leaked in my purse somehow, and it's now all over my legs. I was sticky, it smelled like vodka, and my entire wallet was soggy. Again, off to a great start. I put my purse in a sink and tried to clean it up myself with his absolutely stinky kitchen hand towel. That's disgusting. Love this for me. He gave me a grand tour of his trailer and we started chatting. He went into extensive detail about his rare skin condition, his ex, and conspiracy theories about aliens.
Girl, get out. This doesn't even feel safe anymore.
No.
Like, this is all so many red flags.
It continuously gets worse. Naturally, I made my way over to my thermos and started chugging what I had left of my mixed drink. He hadn't offered me anything to drink, but he had a glass with a lime in it, so I assumed he was drinking too. I also found out that he was recently laid off from his full-time factory job. Apparently, he called himself a freelance videographer in his bio because he had a YouTube channel with 11 followers. He made, quote, comedy videos. And yes, he played them for me, and I was forced to laugh in front of him. At this point, I was just trying to make the best of it, so I got a little tipsy. That's when he told me he was in a recovery program for alcoholism, and he was, in fact, not drinking. He just liked water with lime in it. Shit. So I'm tipsy, and he's a sober, recovering alcoholic. I felt like such a dick. Then he tells me he has a hunting trip coming up and asks if I want to see his guns.
Oh my God, I would be sweating.
Girl, this is so... Okay, before I knew what to say, he was leading me by the hand to a giant cabinet of weaponry. Keep in mind, I live in Canada where guns are not very common. The only other time I had seen a gun in real life was at a shooting range in Vegas. He pulled a key out of his pocket and opens the cabinet. My stomach dropped and I thought, this is it. I'm going to die on lot number 7. My fun and carefree attitude was about to catch up with my ass. This actually kind of happened to me. Not with a stranger, but my ex went to work and I was staying at his house, and his dad, his brother and his cousins, like all of them are like military men. And I was literally just sitting on the couch watching TV, and his dad came in and was like, do you know how to shoot a gun? Do you know how to operate a gun? I was like, no. And he's like, why? You need to like know how to protect yourself. I was like, well, that's fair, but like, no. So he literally made me get up, and he handed me a gun and had me point it at a lamp, and I'm like sweating, literal sweating bullets. And he told me to pull the trigger. I was like, I don't want to do that. He's like, there's no bullets in it. I was like, I was so uncomfortable.
I think that's like a rule of guns too, is that you're ever even supposed to put your finger on the trigger. So I don't even know why he would even do that.
Great question.
Yes, this is...
Okay, wait,
God.
it gets worse.
Keeping my opinions to myself about gun owners, but it's just like, oh my God. Like, it's always people who feel like, I don't think these people should be having guns if they're acting like this. Like,
okay, so then I pull the trigger and he screams. I'm fucking freaking out because I was already scared to begin with. And then he starts to laugh. He's like, that's your first lesson. You got to check the chamber. And I'm like, what? What?
This is like just so, oh my God, what a freak.
Yeah, I never told my ex about it. And I just like, it was different.
We're going to call him now. Get him on the horn.
No, it was so scary. Okay, let's get back to our camper story. Sorry, guys. I just had a piece there that I had to share. You know me, as I do. Okay, so... But luckily, this didn't happen to her. So he gets the key out, and he must have detected the fear on my face because he asked if I was okay and if I wanted to sit down. I sat down on his bed and came to the conclusion that I was too tipsy to drive home. Since he wasn't going to shoot me, I guess I will spend the night. One thing led to another, and we hooked up. Sure, the date had been a disaster, but it is what I came here for, and the vodka was vodkaing. When the deed was done, we were laying in his bed in the pitch dark when all of a sudden I heard a loud thud. I jolted out of bed, naked and terrified. What the hell was that? He said, don't worry, I tied it in a knot. It took me a minute to turn on the light and comprehend what he was talking about. He had tied, this is gross, he had tied the loaded condom in a knot and threw it at the wall. That is ferocious. That's disgusting. He was so cavalier as if it was a normal thing to do. I was so perplexed. To this day, I have no idea why he did that. After that, I made my way to the bathroom. When I got there was a small frog sitting in front of the door.
This is like such, like, just, it's all so gross. It's all so spooky.
I picture the little frog as a bathroom attendant with his little bow tie, and he has like a little wicker basket filled with bob stripe mints and mouthwash.
A little tip jar and a hand towel.
It ain't much, but it's honest work. Okay, I scream and I ran back to the bedroom to tell him there's a frog guarding the door. His response, just step over him. Girl, what? I was like, is he your pet? Or do a lot of frogs come from the outside in here? What's happening? He said, no. Okay. So I leapt over the little guy and I did my business. Also, there was no hand soap and no hand towel.
Well, if there's a frog on the carpet, do you think there's going to be hand soap in the bathroom?
God, somehow his nonchalant demeanor about it made me feel like I was crazy for reacting to a fucking frog chilling in front of the door. Anyway, I went to sleep, but at the first hint of morning sun, I was out the door. I gathered my soggy purse from his kitchen sink, waved goodbye to the little frog who was still standing there, and I hit the road before he woke up. As I embark on my drive of shame back home, I noticed 3 of my drugstore press-on nails were missing. The thought of him finding them in his bed was mortifying, so at that moment, I decided to block him. You're in the clear. You are fine. I promise you. That's like so crazy to be mortified about that.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
When I think about it now, that was the thing that made me block him. I must have been in shock and not fully processed how extremely bizarre the whole thing was. I never told anyone about this date until now. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but like Trixie Mattel said, if you're not embarrassed of your past, have you made any growth? Thanks for listening. Sincerely, happy camper in cabin 2 and luckily not the corpse in lot number 7.
That's so funny. I just saw Brand Flakes make a video about like COVID exes and how we can't be held responsible to the people that we dated during COVID.
And we can't, but we did.
It was uncharted. Well, but you probably, did you go on a date before me?
During COVID? No.
Yeah. Well.
No, I know. I know. Our timelines don't line up for some reason.
No, because we weren't official that entire time, babe.
You're getting defensive. I'm not saying anything but facts.
Well, hey, I was playing in an open field.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a gun. Don't shoot me.
A wide open field.
No, but Brand Flakes was just talking about how like we can't be held responsible for COVID relationships because everyone was kind of
cuckoo bananas.
They were working with what they got. And what she had was a couple press-on nails, an at-home waxing kit, and a frog at the bathroom. Like, what can you do?
She needed her lunchbox eaten, beaten, and munched on. This episode of Camp Counselors is sponsored by Storyworth.
There are some stories about my mom's life that I truly never get tired of hearing, from hilarious to heartfelt, tear-jerking to plot twisting. Her retelling of the events always brings me joy. Just in time for Mother's Day, I found the perfect gift that captures all of her stories for my family forever. It's called Storyworth. Storyworth helps you preserve precious memories and stories from your mother for years to come. Here's how it works. Each week, Storyworth emails your loved ones a thought-provoking question that you get to help pick. This week, I saw, do you believe in magic? What is a magical experience to you? I love that. Like, Mom, what is a magical experience to you? She's crazy, and I'm sure her answer is going to be even crazier than I can ever expect. And Storyworth makes the writing process a breeze. All your loved one needs to do is respond to that email with a story, long or short, it doesn't matter. You'll be emailed a copy of your loved one's responses as they're submitted over the course of the year. After the year of fun, Storyworth compiles your loved one's stories and photos into a beautiful keepsake hardcover book that you'll be able to share and revisit for generations to come. I love that something digital turns into something physical, something I can hold. So a book of my mom's incredible stories is something that I will cherish for the rest of my life, Mama.
Families love Storyworth. That's why it has more than 25,000 five-star reviews on Trustpilot, with millions of stories preserved since they were founded over 10 years ago. Give all the moms in your life a unique, heartfelt gift you'll all cherish for years. Storyworth. Right now, save $10 on your first purchase when you go to storyworth.com/counselors. That's storyworth.com/counselors to save $10 on your first purchase.
Globally, humans are facing massive problems that are widely ignored by governments and the media.
Like personal space invaders.
I've had it with these couples that sit on the same side of the booth.
Yak mouths.
Stupid stick figure bumper stickers.
Almond milk. You cannot milk an almond.
Hi, I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Angie.
We call her Pumps, and we're the hosts of I've Had It. Pumps, tell the listener where they can find us.
Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Nailed it.
See you next Tuesday.
Are we qualified to be giving advice? No. Are we going to do it anyway? Absolutely.
Welcome back to Dear Counselors Campers. Ready to get some advice from us? You're gonna get it. If you want to be a part of the show.
You're gonna get it, you little stinker.
Get it, you little puta. I'm not letting that go.
I don't know why I said that.
If you want to be a part of the show for any of our segments, please write in for anything that we've talked about today at campcounselorspodcast.com or emails at campcounselorspod@gmail.com, and you just might make a trail mix episode. So this camper writes in, hey girls, I need some advice about my best friend and her boyfriend who I simply cannot stand. I've known her for about 7 years. We met freshman year of college and went through all of the highs and lows of school, post-grad, and corporate America. Another constant in those 7 years has been her boyfriend, who is the literal worst. He's rude, manipulates her, takes her for granted, and is so much less than what she deserves.
Ugh.
Now, don't get me wrong. My friend has toxic tendencies as well, but that's not the issue here. See, you're a good friend. You're like, hey, we're not talking about her right now.
Yeah.
To give context on them, he's a few years older, is a computer science nerd who works from home and in his spare time plays video games or goes to the bar until 4 a.m. with his friends. She works in an office and is essentially his maid. She cooks, cleans, does his laundry, and all he has to do is swipe his card to pay for groceries. Ever since I've known her, she has cried over him for something he's done at least twice a month. For example, they were long distance in school and he would often not show up for their FaceTime dates because his boys took priority, or would cancel visiting at school because his friends wanted to hang out last minute. Not only does he cancel plans, he puts her down for not having as many friends, calls her crazy when she brings up her frustrations, and the list goes on. He's an asshole, clearly.
Yeah.
Throughout all of this, I'm the lucky one that gets to be there when she's crying over him and doubting their relationship. I take time away from my day to tend to her whenever she needs it and spend so much energy being frustrated for my friend that sometimes hanging out with my partner is spent ranting about their relationship. Like she's talking about them to her partner. So I spend all this time and energy helping her through these arguments for over 7 years. And what does she do every time? Take him back and act like nothing happened in less than 24 hours. I know. Why have I put up with this for 7 years? I honestly don't know. Maybe I hope the next time would be the time she does something different, but this is where I need your help, counselors. Okay, clock in, everybody. Should I take a step back next time and say something like, oh, that sucks? Or should I give a little tough love and say, hey, you make these choices, you have to be okay with them. I don't want this to ruin our friendship, but it's not fair for her to randomly put all this on me and then give me a whiplash by forgetting everything and proceeding as normal in a few hours. I want more for her, but I know she has to want more for herself in order for things to change.
Mm-hmm.
Any and all advice is welcome. Thank you so much. This is my first time writing in, and I've been a listener since day one and a fan for much longer. Obsessed with you both in the pod. Thank you for making my Mondays and Wednesdays so much brighter. Love the Whiplash Camper in Cabin 3.
Oh, well,
what do you think?
7 years is a long time.
Yeah, for both, for the relationship and the friendship.
Yeah, but I have been in our camper's shoes.
Yeah.
Where it's literally all day. I would just get bombarded with texts and voice memos from a friend who is going off on her boyfriend. Come to 5:30 p.m. and I'm exhausted from all of that, and they're fine, they're hunky-dory, and then the next week it's the same thing. Sometimes it's like the next day it's literally the same thing. What do you think? Because I know the path that I took.
No, I think a part of being a friend is being the person that has to kind of handle this, right? But there's a line and there's a boundary for every single person. And I think when you've hit that 7-year relationship, speaking just on the friendship level, right? 7 years, you should be able to communicate with her at this point, being like, hey, I love you. And like, I know you're going through it, but at the same time, I am not your emotional punching bag. You do that to your partner. Like, I'm here to like listen to you when it's warranted, but like, I am no longer going to give my energy to give you feedback on this man if what you're going to do is get back with him every single time. Like maybe what you could do, have her do is instead of text you, write it in a note and then burn it, because why is she wasting your time this much? But now it's on you, girl. It really is on you. I know you don't want to end the friendship, so she should be receptive, right? Like I have a friend that me and her have gone through this a lot, and even when she still unloads on me a lot, she'll say afterwards, sorry, just venting, and she doesn't expect me to answer. I think she just needs to get it out to somebody. So maybe you can tell her like, hey, like if you feel like out of like habit you need to text me, that's fine. Just don't expect a response, because if you're just going to get back with him and you don't actually want to take any feedback, then just leave me out of it. Don't put so much pressure on yourself to respond. Mm-hmm. Like you can be shady. Yeah, you're allowed to be.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think your friend would benefit from therapy for sure. There is nothing wrong with mentioning that. I don't think. Do you?
No, not at all. I think everybody needs therapy. Even at your best moments in life, everybody needs therapy. But like, you are not a licensed like clinician.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you can only do so much but listen and be like, oh well, he's like, what is she looking for? You to agree?
Draining, though, to hear
it is
that.
so draining. It is so draining. Like even at that, when like manifesting things, sometimes I haven't done it in a long time, but I would text my cousin, and I would send her like the emoji of the crystal ball at the very beginning, and then I'd be like, I am so happy that I just got a raise at my job, and she knew like the emoji at the beginning was code for like, oh, okay, we're just like manifesting and we're pretending this already happened, and then it would happen for me.
Ooh, so that's cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
As long as you like dropping in the other like hints to the other person, this is what we're doing. So maybe she can put like a devil emoji at the beginning of that, and that means like you don't have to respond to it. I need to type this out and let it out,
And
let
that's
it fall
fair.
on your plate.
And I think that's like allows her to like also feel like that she's not gonna like, because the last thing you need her is to respond and be like, well, you hate me, why are you attacking me, I don't need this from you right now. It's like, girl, I don't need this from you right now.
And then you know what you can do on the side. I don't care if this is shady, because this is going to end up being a good friend if they don't end up together. Every time she sends you one of those text messages, just screenshot it and put it in like a Google Drive or something. So then one day when it really gets pushed a little too far, you send her the link to that Google Drive, and then she'll be reminded of all the shitty things that he did.
Yeah, but you know what? You can't make people change. She's only going to break up with him when it's time. But 7 years, like, girl, the repeat behavior is never going to get better. Good luck. I feel bad for her, but I feel bad for you. Set those boundaries, camper.
Scary stories around the campfire. Welcome back to Scary Stories Around the Campfire. I hope you have your marshmallows and your weird melty chocolate that for some reason just doesn't conform back to its original state.
Well, I don't know why Hershey's got that like stamp of approval for being like the s'more chocolate. Hershey's chocolate, I'm gonna say it, is not good.
That's not necessarily true, but
Hershey's milk chocolate bar it's not the best milk chocolate bar you could get. Ever had a symphony bar?
no,
Yeah.
that sounds good. Come
And
on,
Hershey's
Bandit.
owns that.
Oh, so surprisingly, who's really good chocolate?
Who?
IKEA. And the reason I say that is because I
Makes
was
sense.
at IKEA with my brother's girlfriend at the time, and she left one of those bars. She bought me one and bought her one, and I, of course, ate mine in the car, but she left hers in the car. We go out later, and it's completely melted in the wrapper. And she's like, oh, I'm going to throw it out. I was like, no, you're not. You're going to give it to me. I'm going to cut off the corner and suck the liquid out of it. I'm getting a little embarrassed about now telling
that
it.
was really brave.
I really thought you were going to give me that look like, oh my God, that's such a good idea. Yes, King. Yes.
I've
Slay,
seen
mama.
you eat Taco Bell. I know you love the second packet.
So-
Jonathan doesn't even put the hot sauce on the food. He takes a bite and then sucks the packet.
This is so hateful and true. I didn't.
and true.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it during COVID.
You're back
because-
doing it now. I saw you do it yesterday.
Okay. It's the easiest way. It's just like, it's timely. I hold my burrito in my left hand, open the packet with my right. I pinch with my teeth and you squirt it.
No, you don't squirt it. You suck it. You love to suck it.
And so what? Anyway.
I have questions.
Yeah.
How is the melted chocolate?
It was good. It was the delight. It was the Lintons.
My parents were IKEA today.
They should have got the chocolate.
They're like obsessed with the meatballs, and like in theory they're good, but like IKEA food's fine. Like it's not like it's cheap. It actually is very cheap.
Oh my God. I love the food more when you're like heading out the door, like where I got my chocolate bar.
Oh, I see. I agree because I like the hot dogs and I like the cinnamon buns. Like I don't need like the food court. I like that like exit food.
Oh yeah, I will be stopping by the lunch lady though, because like in the middle
You
of
love a soft serve.
it's also nice to take 5. Like you just need to take a seat. I'm gonna scroll my phone. I'm like, I've been in the store for hours.
They don't want food in the store. I get because they don't want it to get all over the merchandise. But like imagine a little soft serve station in the middle of IKEA. Like I need it like while I'm walking around.
Yeah. Oh my God,
You
like
know?
a cruise.
But then it's like great. Now there's soft serve on like the weird pillows that feel like tarp.
yeah.
I don't like their pillows. Can we get into the story? Please?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is Scary Story Around the Campfire. I'm going to tell embarrassing stories or scary stories. If you have one, you know where to send it. Hi, counselors. I thought you had to hear about this story because it involves a cruise ship and being seriously traumatized at the age of 12. My mom, dad, older brother, and I went on a cruise for Christmas in 2005. Great stuff. Great stuff. We were living it up on the Carnival Conquest, and of course, you get to pick out an excursion at port for a Christmas gift. Oh my God, I love that.
Oh, that's a fun Christmas gift.
Yeah.
I don't know, I said it like that. That was weird.
It was super weird. How'd that feel?
Well, it's because I'll look back on that and not think it was as weird as you sucking out melted chocolate out of a candy bar in the middle of a parking lot in the middle of the night.
I was a little girl.
Yeah, you were. When I was a little girl,
I was young. I was dumb. Let me live.
you were
Okay.
18.
Actually, I was in college, yeah. My brother and I picked snorkeling with stingrays or something. What do you mean or something? Like that is memorable. Unless you've done it multiple times. Like that is something that you do not forget.
Yeah, because if it was snorkeling with stingrays, I would hope you'd remember that.
Yeah. Oh my God. I hope it happens by the time this comes out. But you guys, what's her name? Martha May, the fucking pregnant stingray, is still pregnant. It's been
Charlotte.
eight months, and I looked it up. Stingrays are pregnant for 3 to 4 months. It's been 8. She's like coming to full term. I'm wondering if it's a parasite.
I don't think whatever happened is good, and I don't want to talk about it. It's making me sad.
Okay, guys, focus. My brother and I picked snorkeling or something. I don't know, but my dad is an avid Great Lakes fisherman and had to go deep sea fishing in Mexico. So we're at the port. Dad goes off on his fishing excursion. We do whatever. She doesn't mention where the mom is, but I think the mom stays on the ship. And the afternoon rolls around. My mom, brother, and I return to the ship. Okay, mom was doing something. My mom, brother, and I returned to the ship.
Mom was just with them.
Oh my God.
Why is that not an option for you?
Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm freaking out. Stop. Okay, my mom, brother, and I returned to the ship about an hour before it's set to depart. Even though his fishing trip was supposed to end an hour before that time, Dad's not here.
Oh my God, that's actually giving me such anxiety. I feel like I'm going to shit myself.
It's important to know that this was in the era that getting cell phone access in Mexico would have cost $1 billion. So that was a no-go. Mom calls the security desk to see if Dad had swiped in or whatever. And the front desk said everyone was accounted for.
Or whatever.
We're like, no, Dad's not lounging by the pool. He's not anywhere. They had like looked around the cruise. More time passes. We begin to panic. Suddenly, we get a call from security. It appears that my dad and several other passengers are in fact not on the ship. All the people were on the fishing trip. The ship toots its horn. It's departing. My anxious preteen self begins sobbing because my dad is going to be left behind in Mexico forever. My mom is like, well, he has his credit card, I guess. My brother thinks this is hilarious. The ship is moving. We are 300 yards from the dock.
Oh no, this would actually make me cry as an adult.
Oh my God.
This is a very stressful moment. I feel bad for the mother. Because
Yeah.
the mother has like, what do mothers do? They weather the storm.
They weather the storm, whether that's tornado or a rocky sea.
Or IKEA melted chocolate bar.
Yeah. They weather that storm and they have to put on a happy face.
Oh,
And it's the holidays.
What's happening next?
It's Christmas. Okay, the
Or
ship's moving.
whatever.
We're 300 yards away from the dock or whatever. No, she didn't.
Okay.
In the distance, a tiny fishing boat appears. Could it be?
Papa.
Amidst the panic, we lean over the balcony to get a better look. Lo and behold, this 25-foot fishing boat pulls up beside the moving cruise ship. I see my dad. He waves. This is thrilling. They slow down the cruise ship and they throw down a rope ladder.
No way.
It's getting Pirates of the Caribbean in this bitch.
It is. How is that legal?
I don't think that it is. They probably took them on and like
On
had
the
to handle.
Carnival Conquest, that's a major cruise line brand.
Yeah, they probably had to like bring them into a room the same way, like, you know, if they like, they're gonna rescue a ship if they see it.
I'm not
So they're
talking about the
probably doing the same
legalities of if they're
protocol.
like citizens are allowed on the ship. I'm like, what if he falls and dies on the rope thing?
There's no turning around. Don't turn around.
Could you do it, you think?
Because you're gonna see my
It is
heartbreak.
Rope ladders are really hard. Like they're always just like,
I
like
could
just
do it.
rocking around. It's like, can everyone just like hold still? Keep the rope taut.
Okay, aren't you excited to hear what happens to the dad?
Yeah, maybe I'll get a snack.
They throw out a rope ladder. Dad climbs up the rope ladder and onto the cruise ship, followed by other people on the fishing trip, including a very old man and a kid who was 7 years old.
Up a rope ladder. The cruise, they're so big.
Yeah.
It's like a 200 feet. I don't know.
Well, I
math.
think there's an opening by where it's the tugboat hole. The tugboat
You're
port.
right. Maybe that's true.
Yeah.
But still,
It's
it's a
scary.
7-year-old.
In the end, we found out that the captain of the fishing boat either didn't know the return time or didn't really give a shit, but he didn't really speak English. So when everyone was like, hey, we should probably go back, he waved them off. My dad was totally fine, and I think received some carnival merch for his troubles. It better have been more than merch.
Yeah, can we get Dad on the pod, please? Please write in and let us know what happened, because I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna be like, he got carnival merch or whatever, and I
Yeah.
need to know, like, did they get, like, I would get at minimum a refund on that excursion.
Oh my God, 100%.
Especially if it went through Carnival itself.
Oh yeah.
And it seems like it did.
I don't think it did. I think they were saying once they got to port. And that's why I got so nervous on our ship. So on our cruise, I don't even know if we mentioned it in the episode, but we were coming back from an excursion that we didn't do through the ship because ours kept getting canceled. And we were stuck in traffic on St. Thomas. And I was like, this is it. We're going to be stuck here and the ship's going to leave. Because that happens. It happens. And we were stuck in that traffic. And the guy was like, this is not usual. This is not common. I was like, not what I want to hear right now. But that was the truth of the matter. And the truth of this matter is that my dad was totally fine. I think he received some Carnival merch for his troubles. But in true dad fashion, he loves to tell the story. Anyway, thanks for your great chats each week. You guys are so fun. Love. Love the nearly fatherless preteen in cabin 5.
I wish there was photographs of them climbing up the ladder.
We were giggling with a rose such a clatter, and I did miss the part, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna skip it because she didn't send it. But it did say my brother is recording the whole thing on our family camcorder.
Oh my God, please send that.
But it's from 2005, so I know it was on a mini DV tape. And unless she has like a converter tape deck, which I had because I was obsessed with that. You know me, I'm an archival
we can help
bitch.
with the logistics. Give us the tape.
We have an archival cabin here on camp, you guys. And if you can just send us that crazy little tape, we would love to see it. Oh my God, with old Gampy climbing up that rope ladder.
Gampy. He slips, he falls, he dies.
He dies. Well,
he dies.
How long have we been recording?
Putes, what an exciting episode or whatever.
Oh my God, we've been recording for 50 minutes. And I wasn't going to say it, but I'm proud of us because we did like almost half the episode and didn't realize we weren't recording. Hey. So we had to re-record, and we're here, we're clear.
And we did the best we could. We'll see it. We'll see you this week. We'll see you next week. We'll see you forever. And with that being said,
lights out, campers.